Hey, what's going on, guys? This is David the Son, Raised to Others, coming back at you with another live video. It's been a while since I did a video. Obviously, I've been spending a lot of time with my wife, and so I've just been enjoying that time as we focus on the early part of our relationship, right? The development of the foundation of our future together, hopefully for the rest of our lives. But today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about with everything going on with the celebration of Kamala Harris and, prior to her, the celebration of Barack Obama, and just really trying to explain to you, like, what these people mean to the legacy of black people. Now, as you all know, and I don't think that I would have to explain this to you, right? We are descendants of slaves. When I talk about black people, I'm talking about descendants of American slavery, right? ADOS. You'll see the hashtag ADOS. You should look it up. But anyway, we have a very particular legacy, right? And our legacy is a result of us being American, right? Being American, being slaves in America, being the fundamental aspect of the very foundation of America, right? Without slavery, there is no America. So whatever you think about America, at the root of it is us. Now, so we ate all the cost of the building of America and have received little to none of the benefits, right? So this is important when you talk about, so one of the things that triggered the necessity of this video is the photo of the little black girl, right? And that photo being used to represent our transition from oppression to freedom, right? That Kamala now represents the freedom of black girls. But Kamala's not a black girl in the sense of ADOS, and that's very important. And here's why it's important. So as you know, Jackie Robinson, quote unquote, broke the color line in Major League Baseball, right? At the height of Major League Baseball, black people represented 19% of the players in the major leagues. 19%, almost 20% of Major League Baseball players at some time were black. ADOS, that's important because it's not just black. Today, black people represent 6.7% of Major League Baseball players. Now, the number of white players has increased since that time. The number of Latino players has increased since that time. So everybody else's numbers are increasing and black numbers have been decreasing, right? We've lost 2/3 of Major League Baseball players since we crossed the color line. So understand, we made all the sacrifices for everybody else to come in, and then we out. And you need to understand that. It's 6.7 now. That number's going to keep going down until there are no Major League Baseball players from the ADOS legacy. None. Zero. And this is why it's ridiculous, right? Now, when you say black players, that's something different, right? Because many of the Latino players are black, right? Marcel Ozuna. I just named some people I know. Marcel Ozuna, a black Latino. And so when you think about, like, this is what you call displacement. There are only so many positions in Major League Baseball, right? So as our positions go down, it makes room for everybody else's positions to go up. And this is what's insane to me, right? When you talk about the celebrating of Kamala Harris and Barack Obama by black people. Now, I'm not saying, like, look, maybe you have the position that anybody but your opposition, right? And that's what you celebrated. But that's not what it is. I know that's not what it is because I hear black people, ADOS, I hear them saying, now there's a role model in the position that would communicate to my children that you can get that position. Except that's not your children. She's not one of your children. She is not the child of a black woman. Barack Obama is not the child of a black woman. And that's important, right? That's important, black woman, when you telling your kids that you can do that because you haven't done it yet. You haven't done it. And I'm saying, by letting these other people come in, because this is what white supremacy wants, right? White supremacy wants you out. Because you're too much of a headache talking about reparations and justice, and you're talking about all this other stuff that these other people ain't talking about. right? Kamala Harris has done nothing. I need you to understand, nothing for the progress of black people. Nothing, right? She's participated as an apparatus for white supremacy just on the Democratic side, right? So it looks like because she's Democrat that she's for us. She ain't for us, man. She ain't for us. How many black women did she lock up for truancy? Y'all remember that? There was a woman, I think it was in California. I could be wrong. Somebody will correct me if I'm wrong. But I think it was California. There was a woman who who used the child's father's address to get her child in a decent school, and they locked her up. They locked her up. That's in her state. That's what they do. That's what she was known for enforcing truancy laws on black people. That's her. And y'all celebrating her, telling your kids, the ones she locked up, the ones whose parents she locked up, the ones whose fathers she locked up, right? She was the top cop in California. In California, 3 strikes, where you can steal a candy bar and do life in prison. And you need to understand, whenever they institute these strict laws, right, of governance, whenever they institute these strict laws of governance, it's always black people who gonna pay the highest price. And they know this. That's why they doing it. And don't let people tell you, that Joe Biden was pressured or pushed or supported by a majority of black people. I think it was like 58% of black people supported the crime bill that Joe Biden wrote. But here's the problem, man. You was wrong for that, bro. You was wrong for that. And you can't just come out and say you was wrong for it, because if you come out and say it's wrong for that, you owe us. You owe us. Because 20-1 was the time given for cocaine and crack. And crack was in the black communities. So you were going to get 20 times the time for the same drug. It's the same drug, right? You can't get crack without cocaine. That's the bill that they wrote. That's the bill that those black people supported. And I'm saying, our problem has always been, we pay the cost for American progress. Black people, and more specifically, black men, pay the cost. Joe Biden and Bill Clinton are responsible for 1 out of 3 black men spending time in prison. Now, everybody keeps saying, but, black men did the crime. No, white men wrote it as a crime. They wrote it as a crime. And listen, they already understood the damage that this legislation was going to have as a result of prohibition, right? When we prohibited alcohol, it created more criminals. It created more crime, right? So they legalized alcohol, right? So now you have Anheuser-Busch, founded here in St. Louis, by the way. Anheuser-Busch selling alcohol legally for decades now. For decades, right? Because all of the crime that it created as a result of prohibition, right? So we knew that we could write in a crime that would lock up all these black men. And you need to understand. See, you guys separate Democrats and Republicans. And I'm telling you, Reagan enforced the war on drugs, right? Reagan enforced. Nixon created it, but Reagan enforced the war on drugs. But Clinton came in as the cleanup man and bam, right? Locked up millions of black men under government arrest. Under government arrest. This is important for us to know, man. When you put a man like that in office, who is steady having this tough on crime position. Listen, black men are criminals for very specific reasons. For very specific reasons that are institutionalized, right? So you can't blame individual black men for falling for what all of us are pushed towards. Now, does that mean all of us are going to push towards it? No, of course some of us are going to rise out of that. Of course, this is never going to be a situation where all of us are going to fall victim. But no one should be surprised that 1/3 of black men have found themselves in a prison system. And understand, 1/3, but there's a bunch more black men who, like myself, I've never been to prison, but I did the things that could have got me in prison, right? I've done those things. I've done those same things. So I'm not here to tell you I'm better than other black men. No, man, I was lucky. I got lucky, bro, that I didn't get caught up in all that and getting to go to prison and didn't have a record and couldn't get a job and couldn't vote. But when you ask them about reparations, no, we can't do reparations. But you can lock our black ass up. You, Kamala, can lock our black ass up. You, Biden, can lock our black ass up. You should have told black people that ain't right for us to lock them up after we locked them out of the work progress administration, after we locked them out the federal housing administration, after we redlined them, after we did slavery by another name. All these things happen to us. And then what they do is they come back on the back end and try to say it's on you. We have been victim of the greatest gaslighting effort in American history. It's the greatest gaslighting effort in American history. And I'm trying to tell you, stop falling for the banana in the tailpipe, man. Kamala is not one of us. She ain't your daughter. She ain't your child. And your child ain't gonna be where she at because none of our kids have gotten to where she is. None of our kids have gotten to where Obama is. And we've been here for 400 years. Kamala just got here yesterday. Barack just got here yesterday. His mama ain't your mama. Her mama ain't your mama. And you need to know and understand that before you are here celebrating and honoring these people that are the demise of your people. You are being displaced. You don't know? There's articles out there that'll tell you. William Darity talks about this, that colleges prefer Africans to native blacks because they still get the credit for having black people while not having any of the responsibility for what they did to us. And that's perfect for white supremacy. It's perfect for white supremacy. And all of y'all falling for the banana in the tailpipe. You being used for your own demise. At its height in 1974, black people were 19% of Major League Baseball players. Today, 6.7. Now, there's some Negroes out there who gonna point the finger at black people. But understand, they got whole institutions over in these Latin countries to bring players over here while you have none. There is no institution that you have to develop black men into baseball players. The St. Louis Cardinals, my team, my favorite team, right, has one ADOS, Dexter Fowler, who's not married to a black woman, by the way. So I'm saying, when you talk about all of these people, they want all of the benefits while you make all of the sacrifices. Kamala wants the benefits. So she come over and shuck and jive with us because, you know, we always fall for the shuck and jive. She come and shuck and jive for us after locking up black men, after locking up black women. She locked up black women and black women are celebrating her. It's insane. It's insane, man. If I had hair, I'd pull it out. She locked up black women for truancy. Do you understand? Truancy. The poor women that they forced into these slums and ghettos through redlining and then punished them. Punished them for it. But y'all keep falling for this. These people are not for you and they are not you. And pretty soon, if you keep at this pace, there will be no you. And maybe that's what you want. Maybe you don't want black people to exist here. Maybe you are a black nihilist, that you don't think your purpose on this earth means anything. But I'm telling you, you are wrong. You are the moral conscience of the world. You are the one to set the world straight because nobody else can do it. Nobody else can do it. These people want you out. They want you done. They want you capiche. And they're displacing you with people like Kamala Harris and Barack Obama and like all the Latin players in Major League Baseball like they've done. And it ain't the first time. You don't know that all jockeys, you know, jockeys in the horse racing, all jockeys used to be black. This was during slavery. All jockeys were black. But when they saw that these jockeys, these slave jockeys, were making millions of dollars, they displaced them. How many black jockeys you think exist now? Since you can make millions of dollars. How many you think? Right? Just understand, when I tell you the number went from 20% of Major League Baseball players to 6%, that means all those millions of dollars wiped out of your community. Wiped out. They're gone. And the reason, they trying to displace you in the NBA too by bringing in all these European and Asian players. Right? They're trying to displace you there too. Like, wherever they can displace you, they will. And I'm just saying, man, don't celebrate your own demise. Don't celebrate you choking yourself out. Don't choke yourself out. That's crazy. You're here for a reason. Your ancestors went through all of that for a purpose. To purify the integrity of this country. It was why you was brought here and why you had to suffer and go through everything you went through so that shit can never happen again. But you guys are letting it happen again. And forget about just letting it happen again. Like you celebrating it like it's like some idiot, like some complete buffoon. If people outside of this country knew what you was doing, they'd be fucking laughing at you. Cause it's hysterical. It's hysterical what you're allowing them to do. It's hysterical. She is not one of us. And you need to treat her like she's not one of us. Right? You'd be better off with a white person in that position than her. You'd be better off because then at least you know you ain't fooling yourself. At least you know who you're dealing with. But y'all don't even know who y'all dealing with when it comes to Biden. Y'all don't even know. And I'm saying all of this is insane, man. It's all insane. Please stop. Please connect to your lineage, not your color. Because understand, it was people your color who sold you into slavery to the white man. And that's what it means to be black. What it means to be black is Rwanda. That's what it means to be black. What it means to be black is what you see going on in, I believe it's Nigeria right now. Like wherever this stuff is happening. That's what it means to be black. It don't mean nothing to be black. It means something when you talk about your tribe. And ADOS is your tribe. And if your tribe ain't in that office, then you don't have nobody in that office. And you need to try to build allies with whoever you can to support the development of your people as a result of what these people have done to us. These people come over here, man, they don't care about you. Kamala don't care about you. Nothing in her history says she cares about you. Nothing in Barack Obama's history says he cares about you. Everything they do is for politics. It's for positioning themselves. It has nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you. They ain't your history. And that's why I'm offended by that picture of the little black girl and her shadow and then Kamala being there. No, she don't represent us. Use her own people. She need to use her own people, Jamaican and Indian people. I would never go to Jamaica and impose myself on their culture. I would never do that. Because that's not my lineage. I would give them support. I would give them whatever I had to. But I wouldn't pretend like I'm one of them. And that's disrespectful, and it just shows how dumb you are.